Welcome to The Third Rail. This is episode 8, the final episode, where we'll talk about healing as a rebellion beyond the burnout. The theme of this today is how self-care, community healing, and rest are political acts. Let's start with our quote of the day. Our quote of the day is, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it's self-perseverance." And that is an act of political warfare. That's by Audre Lorde. Today, we are going to take a deep dive. And as we finish our season, we are going to get at it. What is the most radical thing you could do is rest. What if joy is a strategy? What if healing is an act of rebellion? We've spent this season talking about really hard things. We talked about oppression and resistance. We talked about trauma and rage. Today, we're talking about what comes next, about how we survive, This is The Third Rail. I'm Dr. Mark James. Let's get at it today.
Sees me just for who I am when I see.
Welcome back to The Third Rail, season finale. Today, we're talking about healing. Today, we're talking about rest, about sustainable movements and sustainable lives. Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-perseverance. And that act is political warfare. Again, we heard that is a quote from Audre Lorde. Audre Lorde wrote these words while battling cancer. She understood something that activist culture often forgets. We cannot pour from an empty cup. The revolution cannot be sustained by a burnt out people. Movements cannot be built on trauma without healing. Today we're asking, what does revolutionary healing look like? We're gonna look at the burnout. Let's be honest, we're tired. Collective burnout is real. We've been fighting for years. We've been protesting. We've been organizing. We're educating. We are surviving through police violence, through pandemic, through economic crisis, through political chaos, and it's taken a toll. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, physical illness, relationship strain. The body keeps the score and our bodies are screaming. Let me say this real quick. There is no greater culture that has endured more than Black culture. There is no greater culture across the world that is emulated more than Black American culture. But I'm getting ready to blow your mind. There's a professor that goes on social media that says there's no such thing as Black culture in America. He has lost his mind. See, as an African, he is looking at Black American culture through a colonized African lens. Let me tell you from somebody that has traveled the world, everybody wants to be an American, Black American, and they want to experience Black American culture, the swag that Black Americans have. And guess what? I'm speaking from a lens, I'm not an African American. I was born in England from Caribbean parents. And as I travel, everybody has that same swag that is in Miami, Florida, that same coolness that's in LA, that same poise that's in New York City. But there's a shame to it. And here it is. It's admitting it. In activist culture, there's a pressure to always be on, always be fighting, always be strong. Reset is seen as weakness. Self-care is seen as selfishness. Asking for help is seen as failure. That's not sustainable. And it's definitely not revolutionary. Real revolutionary requires sustainable people who can show up consistently over the long haul, people who have the capacity to imagine, to build, to create. Our ancestors, man, think about it. And that requires rest. It requires healing. It requires care. Rest as resiliency. Rest as resistance. Think about it. The system wants us exhausted. Capitalism wants us overworked. White supremacy and domination wants us traumatized. This system wants us depleted, separated, not connected. An exhausted people cannot resist. A traumatized people cannot organize. A depleted people can't imagine what it is to be liberated. So rest is a radical act. When we rest, we refuse to participate in our own exploitation. When we care for ourselves, we can't assist in our own worth. When we prioritize our well-being, we model the world we want to live in. Pause. When I grew up, one of my favorite rappers, I won't call his name, was from South Florida. And he made millions off of the exploitation of Black women, and he was Black. And the irony of it is I follow him on social media, and he's got daughters. But back in the 80s, it was, I can't say his song because you'll know, but it was all exploitation, women on stage shaking their butts, half dressed. Same people that would eventually become mothers. The same people that will eventually become matriarchs of families. We got to be careful that we don't fall into self-oppression. Rest isn't just about sleep. It's about setting boundaries, saying no, taking breaks, asking for help. You're not on an island. Do things that bring you joy. Travel, being in the community, moving around to sustainable places. Rest is about refusing to let the system extract every ounce of labor and energy. It can't be about your job. It can't be about your career. Joy is a strategy. It's a strategy that you have to follow. There's a reason the oppressors try to crush your joy, because joy is powerful. Joy is resistance. Joy is proof that we haven't been broken. When we dance, we reclaim our bodies. When we laugh, we reclaim our spirits. When we love, we reclaim our humanity. Pause. When I think about my ancestors, how could they dance in oppression? How can they play the fiddle and have everybody dancing on the one day or night a week they felt free? How could they go to church and feel happy when the next day their flesh was divided by the leathery substance and the sting of a whip? Those people, my people, that could have joy in spite of fear and death and the smell of humiliation. It is important for us to recognize the value of our own humanity. Joy isn't frivolous. It's essential. It's what sustains us. It is what connects us. It's what we're fighting for. A world without joy isn't worth building, man. So we have to make room for joy. We have to make room for pleasure. We have to make room for beauty, for fun, in our organizing, in our relationships, in our daily lives. The revolution will be joyful, or it won't be at all. Let's speak a little bit about intergenerational trauma and cultural recovery. The trauma of enslavement, of colonialism, of Jim Crow, of mass incarceration, it just doesn't affect the people who live through it. It gets passed down through stories, through behaviors, through biology. We carry our ancestors' trauma epigenetically in our bodies, in our nervous systems, in our relationships. But here's the beautiful part.
we also stand on their shoulders and carry their resilience, their creativity, their spirituality, their resistance. And we can heal, not just for ourselves, but them too. Cultural recovery is a part of healing. Reclaiming the traditions that were once stolen from us. Reclaiming the languages that were beaten out of us. Reclaiming the spiritual practices that were demonized. Healing individual and collective, personal and political, present and ancestral. So what does that mean for our movements? It means we have to build differently. We have to prioritize sustainability over intensity. We have to value care as much as productivity. We have to create spaces where people can be truly human, not just activists. That means building, healing, and organizing, creating mutual aid networks, supporting each other's mental health, celebrating wins, not just mourning losses, making room for rest and joy. Man, I'm tired of the rest in peace shirts that I see our young people wearing all the time. The most effective movements are sustainable movements, movements where people can fully show up, where they can be supported, where they can thrive, not just survive. That's the work. That's the vision. That's the world we're building. As we close the season, sit on these round questions. How do we shift from surviving to thriving? What does revolutionary healing really look like in practice? What are you doing to care for yourself? What kind of world are you building beyond the burnout? Healing is a rebellion. Rest is resistance. Joy is strategy. I am Dr. Mark James, and thank you for spending this season with us at the third rail, for touching the third rail, for being brave enough to have these conversations. We've talked about the origins of allyship, about education, global struggle, about performance and faith, about emotion and healing. And guess what, man? We're just getting started. Season 2 is on deck. More dangerous dialogue, more uncomfortable truths, more brave spaces. Until then, take care of yourselves. Until then, take care of each other and keep touching that third rail, because the conversations that scare us are the ones that set us free. This is the third rail, where race, power, and truth collide. See you next season. I'm Dr. Mark James. Take care. Ashe.
You wanna know how I do it? I am that I. From the heights to the west coast, all this fake recognition gets old.